subscribe and hit the bell icon and never miss another video.
You know, and I'm very, very happy that, this came to me at the time that it did in my career, because I also needed a character like this. Neeraj sir had belief in me way before probably I had belief in myself. I remember I came out of my, I was standing in my bedroom and I came out and I told my family that, and I just broke down. You know, I don't like to glorify the idea of my struggle, because it's a choice that I took upon. But you know, it took me 7 years hanging around to really change the perception of the way people look at me.
It does affect you?
Yeah, that's what I was
And it does stay in the back of your mind somewhere?
Somewhere.
But that's how it should be. It's there. You know, you're aware of it. Personally, I would want to deal with it by अच्छा बोला अच्छा, बुरा बोला बुरा.
Great.
Tera opinion, great. If it's coming from a lot of quarters, I will.
You will take it.
Otherwise, chalo bhai.
Hey guys, my name is Shravan Shah, and today I'm going to be having a conversation with two coffee talented people on the house. We have Mr. Karan Tacker and Avinash Tiwary with us. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
I love how you just woken us up.
I told you,
I love
guys.
it. I love it.
How are you
Good
guys doing?
call, good call.
What's happening?
I'm so happy you're the last person to do this.
But guys, काफी interesting trailer. And when I watched the trailer, I was like, two very talented people in a Neeraj show, and I was like, कितनी बार होता है ये? Actually, with Neeraj, it always happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to begin with you.
Yes.
You are Neeraj's blue-eyed boy now, right?
So I'd like
After
to believe.
Special Ops, this happened.
Right.
You killed it as a Special Ops, let's be honest.
Thank you, yeah.
Special Ops was one of those series that, when the pandemic began,
Right.
it was the first series that made, everybody take note. And after that, everything started, okay?
Right.
When you get approached for a show like this, okay, how was it playing a cop? And I remember I watched something recently, I think it was a Netflix video only, where you said the first time you wore the entire uniform, it felt like fancy dress. Why? Why did it feel like fancy dress?
Well, first of all, I'd like to believe as well that I'm Neeraj's white boy.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll really reckon with that thought, though. Having said that, of course, it's such a privilege to work under his, tutelage in a second project, and I'm very, very happy that, this came to me at the time that it did in my career, because I also needed a character like this really to uplift my craft and to generally have a little bit of a perception change, maybe, for the industry in general, to the way they look at me as an actor. So I'm really happy that, and quite privileged that I'm getting to do this with him. Playing a cop has always been my dream as an actor. I think, there are some check boxes that you have.
Yeah, always.
Very early on, as actors, कि यार ये सारे characters तो करने ही हैं.
Yeah.
So definitely playing someone in uniform was quite on the top there for me. But when this came to me early on, and I always keep telling this sir that, Neeraj sir had belief in me way before probably I had belief in myself. And I think that's the brilliance of great makers, that they see it in you before you see it in yourself as actors. And somewhere that really gives you that leeway and that pathway to believe that, if somebody of his stature believes in it, then maybe I can pull it off, and I need to somewhere live up to that expectation.
Yeah.
So that hunger always helps. So I was really happy when this came my way. Ironically, this came to me on the day of the trailer release of Special Ops.
I was just going to ask you that, was the seed for this sown during Special Ops? Because I remember talking to you after that.
Correct.
And I asked you something on the lines of, is there another Neeraj project? And you were like, can't say, don't know. And I was like, you need to better that answer probably.
If I'm not mistaken, Special Ops came out on 17th of March 2019. Sorry, 2020.
Yeah.
And I remember Sheetal Bhatia sir, who's our producer, called me into his office, and he sat me down and he just asked me a very simple question. He said, "क्या कर रहा है? कुछ sign किया?" मैं कहा नहीं sir, रुका हूँ एक बार Special Ops आ जाए. And he looked at me. He's like, "कुछ चोर पुलिस वाला करेगा?"
Ooh.
So I said, "Of course करूँगा."
Yeah, how do you say no to that?
Yeah, I mean, why do you say no to that?
Exactly.
It's more over like that, right? And he's like, "ठीक है बताता हूँ." And that's all he told me.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks. Absolute radio silence, because the pandemic hit on 17 March specifically, and the whole India went into a lockdown.
Yeah.
I get a random message from Neeraj sir saying, Bihar Diaries available online, पढ़ ले और बता. Literally itna hi, something to the sound of that. And Neeraj sir is a man of extremely few words. So I was like, okay. सबसे पहले मैं I went and I googled कि बिहार डायरीज है क्या, and I saw the book and I saw that it's based on a cop. I was like, oh, I think that's what Sheetal sir meant, a couple of weeks back. I immediately downloaded it and in 4 hours I was done. And I responded to Neeraj sir on WhatsApp saying, and I took the liberty to do that, that Amit Lodha reporting on duty, sir.
Ooh, nice.
So cool.
And he responded back saying, "Seek gaya," and a smiley. And that's actually how this happened to me. And I remember I came out of my, I was standing in my bedroom and I came out and I told my family that and I just broke down. It was, I mean, for me it was honestly a dream come true.
For sure.
Not for any other reason, because I've really had quite a journey as an actor.
Yeah.
I personally don't like to glorify the idea
We've spoken about that.
Yeah, I don't like to glorify the idea of my struggle because it's a choice that I took upon. But it took me 7 years hanging around to really change the perception of the way people look at me.
Yeah.
And it took a platform like a vertical like OTT to really come in to really change my my game as an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that it happened the way it did.
As actors, you literally put your hard work, blood and sweat out there, okay, when you're doing a project. Now when the project releases, of course, it's for the audience to decide whether good, bad, ugly, whatever, okay. There are some good things that are said probably about the project, some things that are nasty, okay. Do you all first read reviews that come online? Do you all read or you all have just bypassed that phase?
Reviews or comments?
Both.
Yeah, I glanced through both.
You glance through it. What about you? You glance through it. And when you read, let's say, a review, now there are two types of reviews that happen online. One is it's constructive criticism, that this was great, this could have been better. And then there is a review probably written from a very personal agenda where this is meant to attack you. Okay. As artists, do you all also know that, hey, this review is not literally a review, it's actually meant to attack me as an artist? Do you all make that out when you all read it?
I think I look at it as an opinion, and a person might have an opinion. A review, when they appreciate you, you feel like, "Arey wah wah," or koi burai karta hai to acha nahi lagta. That's a very natural state of being. My conversation with myself about it is to neither take the appreciations to my head nor the criticism.
Okay.
Having said that, it does affect you.
Yeah. That's what I was
And it does stay in the back of your mind somewhere. But that's how it should be. It's there. You're aware of it. That does not mean it dictates my life. But if, say, there is a certain criticism that I know is coming from all quarters, I would want to.
Constructive.
I wouldn't know if it's constructive. See, again, that's how I interpret it. But if it's a criticism that's coming from a lot of quarters, I'm willing to look at it.
Yeah.
But if it's just random things thrown at you, then you just...
What about you, Karan? Do you take them personally?
I don't know if I take it personally. मेरा नजरिया थोड़ा अलग है इसमें. पहली बात तो कोई अगर आपको क्रिटिसाइज करता है, कोई गलत तरीके से चीज को प्रेजेंट करता है, आपको बॉदर करता ही है. हर इंसान ही है. But मेरा जनरल एक फीडबैक लेने का तरीका यही है कि एक हर प्रोजेक्ट, हर ट्रेलर, हर टीजर, कोई भी चीज आप एंटरटेनमेंट में स्पेशली जब डालते हैं, उसकी एक सेंटिमेंट होती है. You vibe with the sentiment of what's happening. And where you feel the energy. Even when Special Ops came out, we didn't get to market the show at all, or we didn't really do anything.
Yeah, because we were at the peak of pandemic.
Correct. And it came out, and it's not like, people did review it, but people did a very quick review on it after just watching like the first episode. But then the word of mouth just really picked up, and there was a sentiment around the show which was much larger than any kind of reviewer or maybe criticism or let's say trolling. I don't know if it really had any, because I didn't really pay attention to it, because we were all
it didn't have any.
We were trying to figure a way to survive and live in that time to really go back and look at how people are responding to it.
Yeah.
So I always go with the sentiment of something. Even when the sizzle came out for Khakee, followed by the teaser and the trailer, the general sentiment was fantastic. In fact, it was very overwhelming. And मेरा ना एक हमेशा एक तरीका रहा है कि मुझे आदत नहीं है कि अपना ट्रेलर मैं सबको भेजूं. चाहे मेरे इंडस्ट्री के दोस्त हैं और सीनियर्स हैं, मैं रुकता हूँ कि एक बार ऑर्गेनिक समझ आए, क्योंकि वो समझ आ जाता है आपको, अगर लोग आपको आगे से आके मैसेज करते हैं या फोन करते हैं तो आपको समझ आता है कि एक जनरल वाइब, एक सेंटिमेंट क्या है,
पहुंच गया
कि पहुंच गया, एंड पता चल जाता है. तो आई बिलीव इन एंड आई रिलाई ऑन दैट मच मोर. एंड ऑफ कोर्स लाइक अविनाश सेड कि अगर एक कोई स्पेसिफिक फीडबैक आ रही है, मैं उसको क्रिटिसिज्म भी नहीं कहूंगा, अगर फीडबैक आ रही है बहुत सारे लोगों से तो उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए आप एक बार सोचते डेफिनेटली, और उसको अगर वो सही लोगों से आ रही है तो आप कहीं ना कहीं you allow it to be feedback to make decisions in your career.
Makes sense.
But it's very difficult to do that.
No, but for the same question actually, I have also realized, and this is also a feedback that I've gotten from a lot of actors, is that when something nice is written about them, probably they will give it a glance and move ahead with life. But if something nasty is written about them, they actually start thinking, and that probably, it's like a circle, right? People will write nasty about you because even they know that if I write nasty, somebody will read. If I write good things, nobody's going to read. Do you also think that that is also a kind of culture, the entire cancel culture?
You're talking about reviewers, or you're talking about like fans?
Both.
I think that's life, no, Shravan? Everyone, if you say something nice to me, I'll be like, and goes off. If you say something bad to me, it will stay with you.
Yeah.
That's how life is, and it's how your natural perception about life is.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Which is why I think, personally, I would want to deal with it by अच्छा बोला अच्छा, बुरा बोला बुरा.
Great.
Tera opinion, great. If it's coming from a lot of quarters, I will.
You will take it.
Otherwise, chalo bhai.
To his last point where he said that people want you to play a certain characters, but those kind of characters should also come to you. Do you all think today, with the kind of work both of you all have done, in your careers, do you all think you all are finally getting the kind of projects that should have come to you very early on, jo abhi aa rahe, both of you all?
I mean, surely, when I now look at the fact that I'm playing Amit Lodha on Khakee, I really feel like I'm really happy that projects like this are coming my way. And when the trailer also came out, I had responses from people that, as actors, we tend to make cold calls and we do cold meetings. People that I'd met and I'd reached out to, like, in my phase of, like, when you have, which you call like a lull phase, those people reached out. So it's always nice, that kind of sense of acceptance. It's not even validation. I think actors yearn more for acceptance than validation.
Validation, that's true.
You want to be accepted by an industry. You want to be accepted in your space. You want to be allowed to work. Because, as a director, as a producer, you can call the shots, make your project. But unfortunately, as an actor, you're relying on a lot of verticals for your next job.
That's true.
So that acceptance is always nice. Of course, every actor, I'm sure including Avinash, would like more of the kind of roles that you want to do.
Yeah.
But I also understand today as an actor that there's too many reasons and there's too many probably things that need to fall in place to make a project, to mount it. I just hope I can get there at some point in my career that, makers can rely on me for that.
I think you're going that way, man. You're totally going that way. What about you, Mr. Tiwary?
I think as far as parts and stories are concerned, I mean, even at a smaller space, I would get a lot of parts which were interesting and exciting for me.
Yeah.
But I think what I needed was a platform and the makers to come through. And thankfully, I think that has happened.
Yeah.
Especially post Laila Majnu, I think there was some credibility that I earned, and it has started.
A lot of credibility. Some being very modest out there.
Very kind. So I think that has kind of helped. That is paying dividends now. My only focus now is that now that it's coming to me, I need to give it back. I need to be able to give back for the trust that has been put on me.
Yeah.
And I hope that happens, Fingers crossed.
For sure. Also, the question is to you again. You're playing a baddie here. Okay, you're also playing a baddie in another project. Okay, when you play a character on the similar graph, okay, how do you manage to, as an artist, it's almost very similar characters, right? How do you manage to make sure that, hey, even though the graph is same, we have to make them look completely different?
It's almost like you're saying two actors are having the same life. I wouldn't think so. It's a profession, it's a way of life that they're living, but they're very, very distinct. I think I don't look at it like that. I look at it as this person. And this person is having this life. Oh, he fires guns as well. Great. How he uses his sense of power. everyone has a different way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like Amit Lodha has a sense of power too. So does Chandan Mahato, and so does that guy.
Yeah.
So how it's translated, executed, expressed, all those things become essential. And to that, I think it gets down to right from the core of this person, of who he is truly. What drives him, what are her desires, all these things make this person. So I think I would really wait for you to watch the other one along with this, so that you can see how
stark different. Makes sense. On the end note, coming back to Khakee, guys.
Yes.
All the very best. I know this one's going to be a big one for you guys.
Thank you, buddy.
And hoping to do success interviews soon already.
Yes, please.
Itna bharosa hai mujhe tum dono pe. So keep killing it with what you guys are doing. And I've said this before, saying this again, that you're doing a fab job at what you guys are doing. So keep doing that. I'm going to see you guys super soon.
Thank you.
Till then, this one is a wrap.